Good morning. Today we are doing the Uddhav Gita. We are continuing with the same chapter as we were doing last time. This is chapter 11 and we are on verse 39. What we were doing last time was how Krishna is telling Uddhava how these twofold aspects of Jiva and the Lord are there. So today Krishna is going to talk about what are these manifestations and how many of them are there. So let us continue. We are doing Uddhav Gita chapter 11, the last message of Sri Krishna, verse 39. I can count the atoms of the elements in course of time, but not my manifestations, for I am creating crores of worlds. Here Sri Krishna is telling that there are so many worlds in the first place. And these worlds are not stopping at a point. They keep on coming and they keep on happening over and over and over again. And they are just expanding. They are expanding to such a level that there is no dearth of the number of worlds that are there. This gives us an idea that this ever expanding universe doesn't actually have an end anywhere. It is like a donut. You know how a donut is shaped? Round like that. See, it's a round with a hole in the center. Just imagine like a donut. And if you are starting at one point, let us take one cross section of a donut. And if you cross over like this and you come back again. So if it starts from nothing, it comes back to nothing and it starts all over again and it keeps on going in a spiral. And this is a never ending spiral. It just keeps on happening and there is no end to it. But he says, I can count the number of atoms of the primary elements. That means where it begins, where the start is, we can actually count from where it begins. Now take your own body for example. If you take your own body for example, if you take your own body for example, it starts as a cellular animal, very tiny one. You can count. You can say 1, 2, and 2, 4, and 6, and 8, and 10, and 12. You can keep on counting them. But a time comes when you will lose count of everything. So how many are getting created? No idea. How many are getting lost? No idea. Can you keep count of how many were created and are getting created? There will be no way of knowing this. It's the same thing which Krishna is talking about. He says, I can tell you primary element from where it began. I can count those and I can tell you. In the same way, he says, my manifestations. I manifest in this world. Just not one world, but many worlds, many universes. As many universes are there, I am manifesting over there. I come into existence at these places. And how many of me are there? Just like there are countless worlds, countless universes being manufactured, I am also in those countless places, which is absolutely the truth. I can count the atoms of the primary elements in course of time, but not my manifestations, for I am creating crores of worlds. It is just the way if you have a bigger and a bigger and a bigger country, just imagine your country is expanding. You need to manage and micromanage also. You see, a village level management also has to be done, a macro management also has to be done. So, how do you solve it? So, you need to create that many entities which manage, isn't it? Today, we are having a very big crisis in the world. Can I just have one organization responsible for the management of that crisis? I cannot have. Now I will require subdivisions, more and more subdivisions, and the divisional heads, and the regional heads, and then the grassroots level heads. Yes, of course, I have to make so many of them. And it becomes an impossible task to just keep track of it. And at what pace this is growing. The universes, these worlds which are coming into existence, are growing at a fabulous pace. There is no dearth of the number of manifestations that are going to come as well. So, this is the truth. So, we move to verse 40. Uddhav Gita, chapter 11, the last message of Sri Krishna, verse 40. Wherever there is power, beauty, fame, prosperity, modesty, sacrifice, agreeableness, luck, strength, fortitude, or knowledge, there I am manifested. Did you see even a single negative over here? Not a single negative. Sri Krishna only manifests himself in goodness. If there is even a tinge of bad behavior or evil, his manifestation is not there. No way. Think what is being said over here. Wherever there is power, now power is something which we have always assumed as something wrong. If there is a power, a centralized power, the head of the states, the head of the police, the head of the internal services, you name it, all these powers, if I put together, the first thought that comes, oh my God, these people are corrupt. No. Understand what is being done over here. The powers that be, the Lord is in those powers. Otherwise, how will they take charge of that? Think what is being said over here. A person comes to power only by the grace of God. Nobody can come to a position without God's grace. Even if someone has to become an IAS officer, administrative service officer, a legislative assembly member, a minister in a parliament, or even the prime minister or the president of any country, it is only because of grace of God that they have reached this position. There is no other answer. The object which we are talking about is power. Where there is power, I exist over there, Krishna says. Where there is misuse of power, power is to be used for proper purposes so that there is development all around, there is growth, there are all the good stuff happening, but power can be misused. Power goes to the head of a person, and when that happens, the Lord leaves that place. Krishna doesn't exist in that place anymore. So, where there is power, where it is established, Krishna is there. Where there is beauty, there is beautiful things in this world. When you are sitting at home nowadays, every feed of yours from all the social medias that are there, you will find more than 25 to 30% of the feed is talking about the beautiful places that exist in this world. From Greece to Italy to New Zealand, Australia, you name it. You'll find the Himalayas, you'll find the South Americas, the United States, Canada. Every beautiful place is being shown to you. If you can see the beauty of these places, you will forget all the bad stuff that is happening around you, isn't it? You get lost in it. If you are watching some serial or something which is really worthwhile, you actually lose your presence over there and get lost in it. But if you are seeing something bad happening, yesterday there was a plane crash, more than 90 people died. And you can see the picture of the plane descending downwards onto the houses below. You lost a heartbeat over there because so many people were going to get crushed and going to die. At that place, you are not thinking God is existing there. But when you see all these beautiful places, naturally you feel the presence of God over there. That is what Krishna is saying. I am there in beauty. When a human being also looks beautiful, God exists in that person. If you are dressed badly, if you have not even combed your hair, you are disheveled, you are behaving like a beggar. You may be a rich person, but yet you are dressed like a beggar. Do you really think Krishna is in that? No. You are a beautiful being. Can you be beautiful? Beautiful doesn't mean putting makeup and all those things. Please let me assure you this much. It is not about makeup. It is not about artificial means. What he says is naturally you look good. So in all the beautiful stuff, God is there. Where there is fame and prosperity. When somebody is famous, he is famous because of God alone. Okay? Prosperity. Where there is prosperity in this world. In today's bleak times, there are people who are making billions. And there are people who are to the power of n, it's a large number of people, they are becoming poorer. There are villages in Uttarakhand where the government has told people, please come back. Why? Because of this crisis, the health issues that are going around, please come back to the village. The people are refusing to go because there is nothing in those villages. There are no roads also to reach that place. So, how are these poor people going to go? So, do you understand this? Where there is beauty, where there is fame, there is goodness around, God exists. But where there is poverty, where there is ugliness, where there is all kinds of negativity, anger, greed, lust, all the negative points, Krishna doesn't exist in that place. Sacrifice. And this is a term which you will have to remember constantly, because this term is the most important word over here. Sacrifice. Where there are sacrifices, I exist. Krishna says, I will be there wherever there is a sacrifice. Let me not talk about the spiritual sacrifices that are being done, all kinds of havans and pujas and parts. I'm not talking about that. Let us look at a single sacrifice. You have money. There are poor people across the world who don't have money. Can you give them at least a little of what you have? You see, it is important to spread this little bit of happiness in their life as well. They do not even have no methods remaining in their entire vision anywhere to earn a little bit of living also. People who are in the tourism industry are completely at home. Those who are there in the hotel and the restaurant business, they have no business at all. Those who are in the transport world, they also have nothing to do. Those who are daily laborers, those who work in the fields, those who work in construction projects, everything has come to a standstill. Those who are there in the oil and natural gas industry, they also have nothing to do. The mining industry has ground to a halt. Everything as big as that. Only a few places are doing well. You can count them on your fingertips. The information technology, people can sit at home and work. They are getting their salaries. The telecommunication people are getting their salaries. What about these other people that I mentioned? If there is not even a little twinge of that sadness in you and the pity that is there required at this point in time to help this needy, I am sorry, you are not doing service. Krishna will not exist in that place. Many a times when people come to me, I tell them, I am with you always. But whenever you do something wrong, whenever you try to do something which is against the nature of this universe, whenever there is something that you are not supposed to do, all the ill things that are there, all the bad stuff that you think you are going to do, even bad words from your mouth that are going to come, please remember one thing, I don't exist in that place. I am not going to support you when you say anything wrong or when you do anything wrong. At such point in time, do you know what is there in that place? In that place, the universe exists. Mother Nature is watching. She is watching, and she watches with a hawk's eye. If you want an example, let me tell you how she watches. You are throwing plastic waste in the oceans, isn't it? The gutters are getting choked up with plastic and various other things which do not get dissolved. Mother Nature is watching you with hawk's eye. There will come a time when she is going to give it back to you in such a great fashion you cannot even imagine. The wrath of Mother Nature is terrible. There will be famine, there will be floods, there will be earthquakes, there will be eruptions of volcanoes, you name it. There will be hailstones, there will be rains like nobody's business. The whole world may get inundated, or it may become totally dry like a desert. All because you have done something wrong. It's a cautionary note that I am giving you. Please do not do anything wrong. Even as your guru, I will personally advise you, don't you even try to do this much wrong, because I am not with you. I don't support you in anything wrong that you do. Mother Nature is watching you. Your wrong is constituted as sin or evil. It goes in the form of karma. The karma is getting counted. Mother Nature counts these karmas, and then in one stroke, she gives it back to you. Haven't you seen people who are born deaf, blind, or have missing a limb, or having congenital problems, or are born in poor places? They are absolutely having no food to eat. Have you not seen this? Look at all those children that you can see in all these countries, different countries in this world, which are backwards. They don't even have a tumbler of water. What makes you think that they have done anything wrong in this life? No. Mother Nature has accounted for their whatever wrong that they have done in their past life. And it is not a payback time, let me tell you, assure you this much, it is not a payback. It is the same karma coming to bite you because you have done something wrong. So don't do anything wrong. When you do right, Krishna is with you. That is what he says. So, when you have modesty, all those naked people on Instagram and Facebook and all these other places, do you really think the Lord is with them? They may call themselves by all the godly names also. No, God is not with them. You have to be modest. Sacrifice, agreeableness. Your nature has to be agreeable. You cannot have a meanness streak in you, mean streak as we say. You cannot become a Veronica from Archie Comics. No. You cannot be mean to anybody. Let the world do whatever it wants. You are not supposed to be mean. Please understand this. Krishna is only with those people who are agreeable in nature. Where there is luck, where there is strength. Now an important word, where there is fortitude. You should be able to overcome all difficult things in life. Face them. Don't keep on running back and say, God, please help me. God, please help me. You want your stupidest problem just because your boss is saying some words, or just because your colleagues are saying something, Just because your husband and wife, the husband and wife have fights, don't go running to God or to a guru saying, Guruji, I have this problem. What? Are you crazy? These are stupid stuff which you can handle. I don't think you need God's help. Then what are you there for? If you are a useless fellow who is not even interested in doing such a small work, why are you needed there? Go die. I mean, think about it. I don't know how to solve this problem. It is a stupid issue. If you are going to go to the CEO of the company with, the toilet is broken, the flush is not working, is the CEO supposed to be solving those problems for you? No. You can't go to the CEO with these kind of issues, isn't it? But there are idiots in this world who love to go with these issues to the topmost authority. I was seeing a rant which was going on. The person is addressing the prime minister of a country, saying that there are some medical workers who are affected by this. Of course, you can definitely do what is necessary, not write to a prime minister for your problems. You have to go as per the protocols laid down. You see, when the big nation is there, the prime minister or the president announces a policy. It is not individualized. It is across the board. It's a general policy. Later on, when the other people come into the picture, the downlines, he has got ministers, then he has got other people, the bureaucracy, and finally at the grassroots level, all these policies have to be broken down to the grassroots level. The prime minister is not going to announce, or the president is not going to announce policies at every broken down levels. No, I'm sorry, he doesn't do that. He gives a general statement. It is later on that the different members are going to put it across to you. So you got to wait. Understood? You see, when the ship is sinking also, have you not seen the captains giving orders in a particular way? There has to be order over there. If there is chaos, everything is going to go down. So following the order is important. So here you got to have that fortitude. You should be able to, face the situation and be able to get out of it clearly. Why has God given you such a wonderful brain? Use it sometimes in life. Don't be shameless. Okay? So when you have fortitude, Krishna is there. When you have knowledge, I am manifested. Now, this is one word which you need to remember. I am manifested. Now, where is he manifested? We are going to understand the intricate detail. Listen to the next verse because it is going to give you an understanding of the subject. It is for your good. Listen to this. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 11, the last message of Sri Krishna. That was to Uddhava. Krishna is saying these words to Uddhava. The verse is number 41. All these manifestations of mine that I have described to you in a nutshell, they are but modifications of the mind and are somehow expressed in speech. That is all. There is a hidden knowledge in these words. The last two verses, Krishna said very clearly that as many worlds that are created, as many universes that are created, I am manifesting over there. I come in existence over there. And I gave you numerous examples. But where is he? He is only there in goodness. These two things you got to remember. Wherever there is new worlds manifesting, Krishna is always there, but he is there only in goodness. Now see what he says. When these manifestations are happening, which he has described in the nutshell, they are just modifications of the mind. This is the line which you got to remember. All these modifications are just of the mind. That means, doesn't he tell you, whenever you do something good in this world, whenever you have the power connected to good stuff, that means you are using the power for good reasons. Whenever you are beautiful, whenever there is luck, whenever there is prosperity, modesty, all the good words that I used in the last verse, whenever all those things are there, I will manifest in your mind. So, if you want me in your life, please do all the good stuff only. Even if you are rising in power, only do that for good reasons. Whenever you do good in this world, I will be with you. Krishna's words are these. The modifications of the mind. Your mind gets modified only in the goodness. The negative aspect of it is the mind gets modified as a devil. When you do something wrong, when you have anger, lust, greed, you name it, now you will understand the truth of it. Why is it that a person keeps on falling when he is having the negativity in him? That one little dot of negativity is like a virus. It spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads and spreads. Think, you may smoke one cigarette. After that, you will smoke thousands and hundreds of thousands. You may have one little glass of wine. Later on, you will have thousands of glasses. You may watch one porn. Later on, you will see thousands of porns. Now, whatever negative that I said to you, Krishna doesn't exist in that, because the mind manifests only the negative aspect of it. And when there is a negative, when there is ill, when there is bad stuff, when there is all kinds of forebodings that are there, the ill forebodings that are there, Krishna doesn't exist over there. He doesn't manifest himself at all. He doesn't exist in that place at all. That is the reason why if you ever get angry, Krishna leaves that place. He is not going to be staying if you are getting angry. If you say one bad word from your mouth, Krishna doesn't exist in that place. His manifestation doesn't exist. Now, who manifests over there is all the demons and the devils over there. They manifest. And then you know the road to hell. So here he says, These are but modifications of the mind. Krishna is also the mind. If you are doing all the good stuff in this world, you are charitable, you are helpful, you are kind, compassionate, loving, caring, all the good stuff that is there, Krishna is existing there as a manifestation in your mind. He will show you the path towards success. That means if you are on the path of success, the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step, he is guiding you. But don't forget one word. If you are focused on the results, he is never going to be there. No. If you are desired, if you have tremendous amount of desires, Krishna is not going to be with you. If you have any ill will against any person, Krishna is never there with you. The manifestation is only evil after that. Then you will see all negativity. Now think about what I am saying. If there is a husband and a wife, and there is a small disagreement, the husband may say some words, the wife will say some words, and from there it is downhill. Now, they might have spent 10, 20 years of very good life with each other. But when that downhill path starts, they can never think of the good stuff at all. They can only think negative. They can see all the faults in that other person. So the wife will see faults in the husband will see faults in the wife. They can never see goodness in any of them because what has happened? Krishna has left the building. Got the answer? Krishna is not there because he's stopped his manifestation in the mind. Now only the devil is manifested. So I hope you understood. So now we move to the next verse. Verse 42. This is chapter 11, Uddhav Gita, the last message of Sri Krishna, verse 42. Control speech, control the mind, control the pranas and organs, control also the impure intellect by the purified intellect. Then you will no more return to this world. People have no control over their tongue. The tongue is a very horrible organ of theirs. It's called the black tongue. Some people just love to spew venom. There is no control over their tongue. Anything that comes to their mouth, they say. People do all bad stuff with their hands. No control over their hands. If you do not have any control over anything, if you cannot control the speech, that is the first thing that you got to do. Control the speech. Do not utter any nonsensical words. Not even when you are provoked. Any time in your life, never say any bad words. Something that is going to hurt another person. Even if the other person has done anything wrong, you need to control your speech. Let the world do whatever it wants to. If you want to go and get liberated, this is the only way. You need to control your speech. Point number 1. Then you need to control the mind. Point number 2. Krishna says, if you cannot control the mind, I am sorry, I will not be there. Manifestation of Krishna will never happen. No. If you cannot control your speech and if you cannot control your mind, I will not even be there. You are on your own. You can go to whichever gutter that you want. You can go and fall into the biggest of the hells. The devil is going to welcome you. Don't worry. Basically, he says you are going to do a lot of sins, which is called lot of karmas. The moment you utter bad words from your mouth, your karma cycle starts ticking. Tick, 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 tick. The counter is moving at a very fast pace. I want you to think very carefully what I have said. Recently, there was one person who said some words which were not supposed to be said in the internet. Did you see the backlash that came to that person? He had to finally say sorry and withdraw all his words, and then he went out of that social media. Even by mistake, you are not supposed to say the words. Some people have a very dirty tongue. They never control their tongue at all. The controlling the speech is a primary importance. If you want Krishna in your life, you have to control your tongue, control the mind. These two are top, number one and number two. Then you can control the prana. What does prana mean? There are different kinds of pranas. You have to control them as well. You know what means? The in breath, the out breath, all this has to be controlled. The prana moving around your whole body, supplying the energies, that also you have to control. You cannot eat whatever that comes in your way. You got to control that tongue of yours. You cannot say whatever that comes your way. You cannot breathe the way you feel like. Got it? You got to control your breath. You got to control your in breath, your out breath, and the hold one also. If you don't know how to do it, steady yourself. Steady, study. Both these words. And organs. Control the organs. Just because you have got a genitalia doesn't mean you use it for bad purposes. You got what I am saying? Don't try stunts. What is the point in misusing? These organs have been given for a certain purpose, including your hands. Your hand has been given for a good purpose, not for doing anything wrong. Similarly, the legs, the eyes, the tongue is given so that you can serve a good purpose, not for doing anything wrong in this world. So controlling the organs is necessary. Control also the impure intellect. You know the kind of thoughts that keep on pouring, tick, 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 tick. Constantly you keep on thinking. A person gets exhausted by thinking. I have people who will come to me, Guruji, I am exhausted. My mind is troubling me so much. What? Why are you thinking so much? And what is the need for you to think nonsensical stuff? When things have not even happened, when they are not even there, your mind thinks. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. What has to happen will happen. It's the same thing. My past, my past, my past. What is your past going to do to you? Even yesterday, what is it going to do to you? Yesterday, I was very angry. Today, I have a lot of anger. Why? Control that intellect of yours. Have a little bit of common sense. Why you want to dwell in yesterday's subject? Somebody is dead, no? That person is dead and gone, buried or burnt or whatever. Why are you dwelling on that subject? Somebody said something bad to me yesterday. Why are you dwelling on that subject? Control your stupid intellect. This is the lower intellect. This is the intellect of a pig. Each an intellect which drags you down into your yesterday's world or the tomorrow's world is a pig's intellect. Don't do that. Can you be here now? I have seen people, when I start talking to them, they are not even listening to the words that I'm speaking. It's my job to teach. So when I teach very nicely. I tell them, do this stuff and don't do this stuff. But they will never listen. According to their mind, because already the intellect and the mind has creeped inside. Before I always tell my people, look in my eyes, and then you speak. I know you are not telling lies then. But the moment a person, his eyes start shifting, shifty-eyed characters. Have you met shifty-eyed characters? Cock-eyed or shifty-eyed characters? These are liars to the core. They tell lies like nobody's business. From Ramakrishna Paramahansa to Krishna will always tell you this. People who shift their eyes constantly. You know the reason why they shift their eyes like this? Their mind has started talking. They are not with you. Nobody is paying attention. Why do people shut off their windows? Even in the internet? They don't want me to see them. But the same thing, when their bosses are online, they will keep the window open. Why? They get paid for it, no? But for a spiritual talk, they don't want to see because they are doing something else at that time. I was cooking, I was doing this, I was doing that. Their mind is going chatter, and their lower intellect is at play. Guruji is talking about me. He doesn't even understand. These are verses from this book. You think I am telling lies? Go and see for yourself what you are doing. Every minute, every second, your mind keeps on coming back again and again and again and again. And when it comes, then you are gone. So, control the impure mind by the purified intellect. You have a purified intellect which only thinks of God. Why are you thinking of trying to put somebody else down? Why are you talking bad words about other people? Why is it that you have to bode ill for other people? Why is it that you think somebody is doing something wrong to you? Control the speech, control the mind, control that dirty intellect of yours with the pure intellect. The pure intellect only dwells on God. It will only take the name of God constantly. It will keep on saying Krishna, 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 Jesus, 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 or some nice word where you will be dwelling on that God only. If you are dwelling on that pure intellect, then there is no problem in your life. Then you will no more return to this world. If you do these four things, first, control the speech. Second, control the mind. Third, control the prana and the organs. Fourth, control the impure intellect with the pure intellect. When you do these things, then you will not ever come back to this world again because you will get liberated. Got it? So we move to the next verse. So this is chapter 11, verse 43 from the Uddhav Gita. For the monk who has not fully controlled his speech, mind and intellect, vows, austerities and charity leak out like water from the unbaked jar. Anybody who is on the path of spiritual, even if it is Krishna's devotee, let me clarify it to you. Even if you are connected to Jesus Christ, you are also included in this verse. For this monk, he is not talking about ordinary people. Please understand this. Krishna is not talking about ordinary people, those who have never heard of God. He's not talking of them at all. He's not talking of the mundane guys. He's talking of you, those who are sitting for the satsang, those who are listening to it. For the monk who is not fully controlled his speech, if you have not controlled your speech at all, or if you have not controlled your mind and intellect, if you have not controlled even this much of your mind and intellect, if you have not taken any vows, people are afraid to take vows in front of me. I tell them, you please promise me that you will never ever say bad stuff about other people. Nobody has the guts to do it because they know their mind, their intellect is always going to let them down. So these are the same people I'm talking about. The monks, or those who are on the path of spiritual and have not reached the ultimate destination. All those people, whether they are the sadhakas or whether they are slightly higher, or they might be even the apostles, or they might be the sakhis, or they might be even connected to Goloka. We are talking about these people only over here. If they have not controlled their speech, mind and intellect, if they don't take any vows, if they don't practice austerity, austerity means all the good stuff in the world. Getting up in the morning. If you have a satsang, don't sit like an ugly person. Take bath, become fresh, pray to God, and then sit. The satsang will give results. But if you are sitting just like that, giving 1001 reasons why you cannot be good, if you have not done your meditation, if you have just woken up, and if you are doing something which is not required by this spiritual world, then that is not called an austerity. You are already fallen. And charity, if you have not done charity, all these leak out. Leak out means, I have said this before, let me again reiterate to you. If you have climbed 2 steps in spiritual, you will come 4 steps down. If you climb 1 step, you will come 2 steps down. If you have climbed the mountain of spirituality, you will fall down on your face. Every bad word that you speak, everything that you disobey, everything that you do wrong, especially because you are on the path. The common man does wrong. You see, even if he rises 1 step, he's going to fall only 1 step. A common man is not even going to rise the mountains. I'm sorry, he doesn't even know whether there is a mountain or whatever. But in your case, those who are listening to this satsang, those who are got ready for spiritual, for them this is the words. You are going to fall twice or thrice that amount. You're going to leak out like water from an unbaked jar. All the goodness that you might have accumulated, all the punya. You understand what a punya means? The good stuff that you have accumulated in your life goes out as if there is a leak in the jar. So all the good stuff that you have done is now gone to ruins. And you know the amount of effort that you have to get back again to that place? Please remember these words. These are there in the Uddhav Gita, chapter 11, verse 43, where nobody is spared. Even if you are the closest of the devotees of Krishna, you will not be spared. Because remember what I said, the universe is listening if you do even one little wrong in your life. So don't speak any ill, don't bode ill for anybody. Don't use your mind in a bad manner. Don't keep on thinking wrong stuff. Don't even use that pranas in a bad way. And the organs especially. All this when you do, you will rise higher. But if you do something wrong, misuse them, then you are gone. It's like there is a hole in the pot. Everything that all the water that you might have accumulated will wash away. Now the last verse in this chapter, verse 44, chapter 11. Therefore, being wholly attached to me, one should control speech, mind, and the pranas by the intellect endowed with devotion to me. Then one attains the goal. This is the ultimate statement. Krishna says, you got to be completely attached to me. You cannot say, I have my parents, I have this one, I have that one. No, that is not your concern. Who do you think you are that you are going to take care of your parents or relatives or this or that? You just focus on God. Let Him handle all that show. You know, at the end of the day, you don't have control over anything. So let Him handle it. So, being wholly attached to me, you got to control your speech. If you do not control your speech, Krishna is not going to be with you. No. So you need to control your speech, you need to control your mind, and you need to control your prana. These three things you got to control. You cannot say anything wrong against anybody. You cannot think wrong. You see the three Gandhijis, you know those Gandhiji's three monkeys. Bura mat bolo, bura mat dekho, bura mat suno. And I got to do like this also finally in the end. Bura mat socho. All right? You become the fourth monkey. Don't think bad against anybody. So these are the things. Therefore, being wholly attached to me, one should control speech, mind, and the pranas. By what? Krishna is not going to come over there and say, oh, you cannot speak bad. He's not going to say, don't think bad. He's not even bothered about it. You know who is going to be bothered about it? You have to bother about it yourself. By what? By the intellect that is given to you, that intelligence, the knowledge that has been given to you. People have learnt with me for so many years. You start using that intelligence which God has given, the spiritual knowledge which has been imparted to you. Use it daily, every minute of the day. Got it? So using this intellect which is given to you, endowed to you, I have given this beautiful intellect to you, and be devoted to me. Always be devoted to me. Then only you will attain that ultimate goal. What is that ultimate goal? Getting liberation or coming back to Goloka. Please understand one thing. If you have misused any of the things that you have been given, the intellect, the mind, the speech, organs of action, whatever that you have done, there is no re-entry back into Goloka. No way. So those who think that they can do whatever they feel like, Krishna is not there with you if you have even said one bad word against anybody. You understand? It is like a hole in the pot. All the water is going to seep out, all the goodness that you might have done. You may say, I have donated to charity. Who cares? I donate through idiots like you, Krishna will say to you. So don't do that. Be your good self constantly. And this is the only teaching which can be given. Be your good self. Be in love and devotion to Krishna alone. And that way, you will be able to attain your ultimate destination of going back to Him once again. So we have come to the end of this chapter. Tomorrow we will start a new chapter. So thank you. Take care. Have a very nice